Hey guys, it's Ashley. I'm back with another video. Welcome back to my channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe. I am getting back in the routine of posting videos, and I thought this would actually be a really fun one to share with you because I've never done really an about me type of video. This isn't like the basics about me. It's not really my history or anything like that, but it is some fun things that you might find interesting. So without further ado, 50 things about me. Okay, I don't like country music. I just don't like it. I don't like the sound of it. I just don't like country music at all. I actually like very few genres of music. I don't know. But for some reason I can't relate with country music. Even though I feel like the lyrics are very, deep and poignant sometimes, I just don't like the culture of country music. Sorry. I can't stand when people refer to God as like the man upstairs or something just kind of flippant like that. I just think it's just really disrespectful. And whenever it's like kind of just in that like casual tone, I mean, it's caused me to think about how I talk about God and, spiritual things, because I know that there's ways that I probably disrespect him even without meaning to, and it's something caused me something to think about. But I just really, it just kind of bugs me. Okay, my dream job is to be a hostess on QVC. I think that I would be a really good shopping network host. I think that it would be so fun. I think I'm good at keeping conversation going. Whenever I sold clothing, I would do sales like I guess live sales is what you would call them, and I was pretty good at keeping things going and not making small talk. I mean, I don't know, small talk usually isn't my favorite, but I think like in that scenario I would do really well. So if QVC is hiring, here I am ready to go. I realized that I really like spray tans. I think that they give me a lot, just enough color, and the trick for me is going to someone that does kind of a custom spray tan. So it's not a machine, but the color is customized for me, and she just knows me. And so I started doing that in the summer, and I really, really liked it. So that's something that kind of surprised me. Being so fair, I had never found anything that looked, super, super natural. And like, I wish I was talented enough to do like just the tan on myself, but it's just really nice to walk in there and get sprayed and walk out. So I like spray tans. I think Branson, Missouri is underrated for a vacation destination. I absolutely love it. It's close-ish to where we live, way closer than the beach, and I think it's perfect for our family. So if you've never been to Branson, Missouri, look it up. In a similar vein, I think the beach is overrated. No, it's kind of, I feel like it's blasphemous to say that. Like, you almost make enemies the minute you say that. But I just don't know, I'm not as much of a beach girl. I'm more, if I were to choose, beach or mountains, I'm always the one that would say mountains. So, sorry, just not a beach girl. I have been a night owl since I was very, very young, like girlhood. I've always just come alive at night. I've thought better at night, planned better at night. I'm filming this video at night. And I just, when everything's quiet and I know that my kids are like down for the count, that's whenever I can really focus and get some things done. And when I say get things done, I just mean like if I'm researching something, if I'm planning something kind of in my mind, if I'm planning a trip, I don't use that time to go around and like work in my house at all. That's a gift that I kind of give to myself, is when my kids go to bed, I usually just stay put. Like, I'll sit and I'll stay put. I'm accomplishing things, but I'm not moving around my house doing a lot of housework, but I could stay up easily. I mean, I'm not as like consistent, I'm trying to think of my bedtime. But on really late nights, like when I really catch a second wind, then 2 a.m. is kind of when I finally decide like you've got to go to bed. But I really, really do try to go to bed by 12:30, 1. But I still feel like I'm admitting defeat and like giving up some quiet time. So I'm a night owl, always have been. I love studying personalities. I think that personality tests are the most fascinating thing, and I love figuring out how people are wired. And to me, it's just a really cool scientific correlation to see how God created people, and just seeing that He really did create us in so many different ways. I am a proud INFJ, and that is the Myers-Briggs personality test, by the way. And it's really cool. It's just really cool to see how God created us. And when you read these descriptions, I think it's so good to be introspective and to learn more about yourself and to become empowered with that information. I am actually more anti-establishment than I appear. And I think, go with me here, I really don't like being told where to be, when, how to spend my time. And frankly, it's a big reason why we homeschool. And a lot of that is just being a slave to a calendar. I do not like being a slave to another person's calendar or institution's calendar, and that's unavoidable to some degree. I'm not extreme in that, but I love the freedom of time and choices with time. And so that's, I don't know, when I say anti-establishment, that's probably not the right phrase, but you know what I'm saying. It's just, I hate being, handing a calendar. I just don't think I could do it. With schools and it's just a big part of who I am to want that freedom and to choose where we go and when. Les Miserables is my favorite serious musical, and Seven Brides for Seven Brothers is my favorite fun musical. 3 of my favorite animated films are not Disney: Thumbelina, Anastasia, and Swan Princess. Those 3 films also have the songs that I most like to sing and most enjoy listening to, ironically. They have great soundtracks, and I absolutely love them. But I am a purist, and I get really, really miffed if someone thinks that they're Disney movies, because they are not. They were Fox. This is a big one. This is a real big one. I hate pedicures. And I realized this not too long ago, actually. Over the years, and I have never consistently gotten my toes done or my nails done. I've gone through phases with getting my nails done or whatever. I do have my nails done now, but I've gone through different phases with it, but I've never consistently gotten pedicures. And the few, over the years when I would get them, I would sit there in the chair and be so stressed out because I knew it was about to tickle, and I knew that I was about to sweat profusely. So every time I would get a pedicure, I would sweat profusely and beg them not to, please just skip that part. Please just skip the, it was awful, awful. So literally only a couple of months ago, it dawned on me, you can go get your toes polished and skip the pedicure. So I will do a video on this. I found at-home products to give me super, super smooth feet, but then I have them polish my toes at the salon. So if I'm going in to get my nails done or just a gel polish or a fill or whatever, then I every so often will get my toenails just polished. You just sit in the pedicure chair and they just quickly polish them. And for whatever reason, whatever they use, it stays on me for 2 months. So my toes will stay painted for literally 2 months. It's great. So if you're not a pedicure girl, but you love the look of really nicely painted toes, just get them polished. Don't do the pedicure, and it's a lot cheaper too. I record the Sunday morning service of a small church in Illinois on TV every single Sunday, and I watch it religiously. It's just part of my Sunday routine, and it's just comforting for some reason. No idea why. I just have grown attached to these people, and I watch them, and I feel I know the choir members. I know people's voices. I'm oh, there's, Jennifer singing again this week. It's extreme, but I really love it, and it's just kind of a part of my Sunday routine, and I just love that little church. I have never cracked an iPhone screen, ever. Go the Distance from the movie Hercules is my all-time favorite Disney song. Okay, I can't stand crude movies that a lot of people think are hilarious. Like Christmas Vacation, I don't like that. Dumb and Dumber, like Princess Bride is not crude, but it's just like, it's not funny to me. And like you say that and then I think people feel like I'm being condescending or something. I'm not. It's just like, I don't think it's funny. Like The Office is funny to me. Like that kind of like dry, like very like subtle humor is more funny to me. But every Christmas, I just feel like the odd man out because man, I just don't like those movies. I absolutely love winter. Most people hate it. It is my favorite season. I could live in 50 different types of houses, get married 50 different kinds of ways. Like I have a very like varied taste and I feel like I could enjoy so many different types of like lifestyles or way of living or any of that. There's so much in my brain that I wish I could have the opportunity almost to live in like a million different ways. I am extremely sensitive to sounds. I get very, very anxious when there's yelling or screaming. Even with my own kids, it's something that I have to just like, I've accepted it, obviously, that's just part of having kids. But that's something that in our house, like I just don't allow a lot of is yelling or screaming. And even, you know, like when we're at the beach, maybe that's another reason that I'm not a beach person, like the constant sound of the waves drives me crazy. Like, and a lot of people love that, but to me, it's just a constant noise and it really bothers me. I'm very sensitive to noises. It really, really bothers me to see children tickled. I can't stand it because I hate being tickled. See the pedicure thing I just talked about, but I think that they're helpless and like even if they're laughing, it's like they can't stop you. You know what I'm saying? Like it drives me crazy. Like I can't stand to see children tickled. If time travel were a thing, I would be all about it. I would love to time travel. Part of that is because of what I just said about wanting to live like 1,000 different ways. I absolutely would love to just like appear in a period of history and absorb it and just take it all in, smell it, just live it. And I think it would be terrifying and very eye-opening. But I think that we can tend to have our own ideas of history, which, you know, is probably why I think like, it'd be fun to time travel. But like really, if you think about it, that would be such an intense experience. So wish it was a thing. If it ever is, I'll be first in line. Every morning, my kids and I start our day by watching YouTube. We watch the Bonnie Helene channel, and that has just been our little YouTube family that we have attached to, and they are very, very much like us. I think Bonnie and I are very, very similar, and that's how we start our day. Like the kid will just kind of eat a casual breakfast with cereal or you know, like what a toast or whatever the kids want to eat, but that's just, we watch that little video, you know, their daily video every morning, and that's how we start our day. I don't drink coffee, but I love like wassail or apple cider. Absolutely delicious. For caffeine, I drink Advocare Spark every morning. I got in that habit back in 2014, and that's just my drink of choice every single morning. And for if I need a boost throughout the day, I usually don't drink anything else throughout the day, but my favorite soda is Dr. Pepper. I love Dr. Pepper. I went through a short kind of crafting phase, but I've realized it's just not my thing. Like I would rather pay someone for something awesome that they've created and not try to do it myself, because time is money. When people share how much their newborn weighed and like how long they were, that means absolutely nothing to me. Like I don't really like, that sounds awesome. Ugly. I was like, I don't care about newborn stats, but I really don't. Like I just kind of want to see a picture of the baby. You know what I mean? Like people who like ooh and ah over the weight and length, I don't understand that. I much prefer steaming to ironing. The concept of ordering a drink at a coffee shop is so overwhelming to me that alone is why I will never drink coffee. it's mind-boggling. Like when I go with a friend, or like my husband drinks coffee, he's not a fancy coffee drinker. He is like bare bones. But if I'm with a friend or whatever, and they rattle off all these different things, I'm like, that is too much for me. I cannot do it. So I will never drink coffee for that very reason. Do you know in You've Got Mail, that's my favorite movie, by the way. In You've Got Mail, when Tom Hanks is talking about how like ordering a coffee gives you such a strong sense of self, like that is one of my favorite scenes, because he's like, tall, decaf, you know, like when he says all that, I'm like, I don't think I would ever arrive at like a strong order. I would always be so overwhelmed. So what can I say? Coffee's not for me. I very often take my kids in the car and we just drive through town, and we will drive by places that are nostalgic to me, that were special to me whenever I was growing up here. We've actually ended up back in the city where I spent a few of my childhood years. So I will drive my kids past my old house, my childhood home, our old church building before we moved into a bigger one. And it's just a very special time. And we'll put on music, or they'll, eat their lunch kind of in the car while we're driving. But my grandfather is the one who really just did that with me a lot when I was growing up, and just listening to beautiful music and stopping to, just driving just to drive and not go anywhere, just enjoying looking around and noticing little things like the shadows of the trees and things like that. That's like a big part of my grandfather's relationship with me, was just teaching me these things and having these conversations just in the car with no purpose and no destination, but just driving. So it's something that I do with my kids, and it's really special. I hate the blues genre of music. I hate it. If I had to sit through like a blues concert, like I would have a hard time. Like, it's just not for me. One of my favorite periods of history is colonial America. I am absolutely fascinated by it, and I pretty much wish I was Felicity from American Girl. I am really good at fluffing artificial Christmas trees. I think that it is a skill that you need to develop, and it just comes in handy. I can make an artificial tree look real good. I used to watch HGTV back when HGTV like launched. So I was like 9 or 10 years old. Like, I think it launched like earlier than that, but it was when it was like really just kind of like becoming popular, and the design shows, like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna do a whole different video on this. I decided, because as I was making this list of like things about me, I was like, that is a video unto itself. Any vintage HGTV watchers, like, comment below and tell me what your favorite show was, because I lived for it, I cannot stand the feeling of gritty dust on a concrete floor. Like, if I'm in bare feet, I can't stand the thought of gritty, just the feel of the gritty dust on my feet. I thought I would hate flannel sheets, but I absolutely love them. Love them. I absolutely love Danny Kaye. He's my favorite probably actor from that older period of the 40s, 50s, a little bit early 60s. Anything Danny Kaye is in, I adore him, adore his voice, adore his acting and humor. Irish Celtic music is extremely soothing to me. I always trust my gut instinct very strongly about things. If I'm feeling really strongly one way, I usually trust that, and I think I'm pretty good at trusting my gut. Blue is my favorite color. We have a Sleep Number bed and absolutely love it. It has been the best thing we've ever bought, and I just think it's awesome. Get a Sleep Number. I am a pastor's kid. I love it, and I'm so thankful for it, and I am a proud PK. I was born in Texas, but we moved about every 5 years, 4 to 5 years growing up, and it really shaped who I am, and I'm thankful for that. I'm very thankful for that. I am told that when I talk to children, I sound exactly like my mom, and I take that as a compliment because she has the sweetest voice when she talks to children, and I hope that I kind of sound like her, because I just shift into that mode just like she does, I think, but that's what I'm told. Speaking of my mom, she is the reason that I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom and raise my children full-time. She was an incredible mom, still is, and the memories of my childhood are just precious to me, and she was the reason that I wanted to dedicate my life to just being at home and raising my kids. My grandparents lived in Clearwater, Florida for a long time whenever I was growing up. And so I knew all about Scientology before it was like cool to know about Scientology. Like when Leah Remini started doing her Scientology series, like all the footage, all of that like is so familiar to me. My grandfather knew all about it. He was actually very outspoken against Scientology. And so he was on like their hit list for a long time, and we would drive around Clearwater and we would see Flag and Sea Org and all of those places that you are hearing about in those documentaries that Leah's doing. So we saw all of that as kids, and so it's very interesting to me now that it's coming out more in the news and in that television series, but knew all about it a long time ago. I love Christmas, but my obsessions about it happen at kind of weird times. Like leading up, like the months before are like big for me with Christmas. Like it'll randomly hit me in July that I want to listen to Christmas carols. Like during the season, I love Christmas too, but I just feel like it kind of like my peak like Christmas, obsession is at kind of weird times throughout the year. London is my absolute favorite city in the world. That's no secret, and I hope, but I would love to live there again in the future with Kurt, even just short term, but it's my favorite city. I miss it every single day. My biggest passion is for people to see Jesus in me, and that's something that I dwell on a lot, I think about a lot, and I just want them to experience his love and his acceptance when they talk to me, and I want them to know him more deeply, and I want people to know what he's done in my life and how faithful he's been, and so that's the passion of my life. And right now, that manifests in discipling my kids and serving through my church and sharing here and just however I can, just in one-on-one relationships. But that is the core of who I am and what we desire for our family. So he's been so good and so faithful to us, and I hope you see Jesus in me. So that's 50 things, I think it was 50, that you now know about me, and I can do a better kind of like, I guess, history or maybe just straight up facts about me sometime, but these were just kind of fun and random things that you might not know. So I hope this was a way for you to get to know me better. I hope you'll subscribe for more videos, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye guys.